So I've been following the ebbs and flows of my following online and the traffic that I get on my different platforms. It's very difficult to pull the wool over my eyes. Um, very good. I'm very good with patterns anyway, and I have been observing my patterns online and the nature and sort of character of my following and um, the different intersection of cultures and the sexes and age groups and all everything. So, um, and one thing I've also observed closely is when people unfollow. You know, a lot of times people will unfollow or unsubscribe, but they'll lurk. That's another subject for another time, which I have been over. But I also observe like when people unfollow, when they unsubscribe, and what sort of subject matter. And the subject matter that people unsubscribe the most on, um, I would say in the Western sphere, okay, predominantly. As I've said before, my non-Western following has been very supportive overall. Um, and loyal, pretty loyal, and but the Western sphere, one of the reasons the Western people from the Western sphere will unfollow me or unsubscribe is when I talk about the um the crisis of the lack of maturity in Western culture and in Western adults. And I just sent out a post to a bunch of people, my following, and I noticed that a bunch of people unsubscribed at that point. And I'm going to put that post in this post. Okay? I was talking about how Western adults, adults in the Western sphere online will crucify minors, okay, and have no forgiveness, and have a lack of compassion for minors, who children who make mistakes. And I was just talking about how if we can't forgive children, if we can't forgive minors for what they have done, whatever it is, and we don't have hope for ourselves, we don't have hope for forgiveness for ourselves as adults. And there's no hope in this world if adults cannot manage to at the very least forgive children, forgive minors for what they have done and help them. I feel it's extremely important nowadays to just before I would just observe, right? And I would be very prayerful about different things that I saw, and I still am. That has not changed. But I would also be prayerful, and I would hold back saying anything because I didn't feel like it was time. But through prayer, I've been feeling it is time to just talk about these things. Okay? There is a crisis. There's a crisis in the Western sphere among adults in which we cannot face our failures personally, generationally, within our different groups as the sexes, okay? Men and women. And we refuse to look at that head on. We refuse to face the facts of our unaccountability and our failures head on as a Western sphere. If we cannot face this, if we cannot face our failures as adults towards the subsequent generations, then there is no hope for our future. Things are a mess now. There are a lot of things that we cannot just fix now. Purification has to happen first. Rebuilding has to happen, and then protection has to happen. Things have to happen first in order for there to be a recreation of a lot of things in our societies, in the Western spheres. Some of the outfalls, the fallouts, the outfalls of our unaccountability and our selfishness are very severe. And they have landed on our children. And those children became adults. Like my generation became adults. And my generation is our compulsive, selfish, helpless enablers of evil. They are helpless instruments of evil. They have no idea that they are enabling greater evils than what they themselves are immediately conscious of, because they have been taught selfishness from a young age. They've been groomed into unaccountability. They have been shown unaccountability by their parents.